Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching Apple event season. It's time to get excited as Apple releases the same phone again in a new color. But jokes aside, we do actually have some exciting rumors about the iPhone 16 series. So let's dive right in. Number one, you may be wondering about the release of iPhone 16 because we have heard a lot about delays with Apple Intelligence, and while that's supposed to be the big feature that would sell these phones in the first place, so does that mean iPhone 16 is getting delayed? Well, according to Mark Gurman, no, that's not going to be the case. He still believes we're going to see a September release, but he does confirm Apple Intelligence won't be launching till October, and well, you don't need to have a guy inside Apple to figure that out because currently, iOS 18.1 beta includes Apple Intelligence, and 0.1 updates usually launch around October anyways, so yeah, that makes complete sense. Now, regarding iPhones getting delayed, I know some are going to say, well, duh, they were never going to delay the iPhone because some software feature wasn't ready yet. Are you stupid? They've never done that. But no, they actually have in the past. The 4S was delayed because Siri wasn't ready yet, and that was the big upgrade that year. But I will admit the chances of that ever happening again are very, very slim. Also remember that even by October, revamped Siri won't be ready yet. That's coming out in spring 2025. Yikes. So yeah, delaying the release based on the timeline for future software updates would be a bad idea. It's better to just go ahead with the September release, and eventually iPhone 16 is going to gain all the Apple Intelligence features throughout its lifespan. Now, Gurman also hints at September 10 being a possible date for the upcoming event, which makes sense because Apple usually holds their events on Tuesdays during the second week of September. He also excitingly corroborates with another leaker and tells us the 16 Pros will be losing titanium blue, thank God, and is now being replaced by a rose gold, which I'm looking forward to seeing the return of. You know what else I'm looking forward to seeing the return of? You! Coming back to this channel, so please subscribe, it would be appreciated. It's free and it would bring you the latest about Apple right to the subscription box, so join the saranbyte gang now. Anyways, let's now talk about bigger batteries. It's been a common rumor that at least the Pro phones are getting a boost in battery capacity, and well, that's now being corroborated by yet another leaker. Weibo Source Instant Digital posted the following million power figures for the Pro models. So the 16 Pro, according to them, is going to have a 3,577 million power battery, and the 16 Pro Max is going to have a 4,676 million power battery. So for comparison, that's a 9% larger battery for the 16 Pro and a 5% larger battery for the Pro Max, which is not too shabby. Remember, the more efficient A18 chipsets could also help improve battery life, and we have heard from one source that iPhone 16 Pro Max will boast a 30-hour plus battery life compared to 29 hours on the 15 Pro Max right now. And the batteries aren't just getting bigger, they're also getting better for the environment. Yay! Now, Apple's not doing this out of the kindness of their heart, they're doing this because they're being forced to by the EU. They've essentially put a law in place that states that consumers must be able to replace batteries in their iPhone using easily accessible tools. Does that mean we're going back to the good old days of removable battery covers? No, Apple would never do that, but of course, instead, Apple has some fancy workarounds. They're going to be using technology called electrically induced adhesive debonding, which allows the user to apply a low voltage of electricity to quickly dislodge the battery instead of finicky adhesive strips. Now, this might be environmentally better, but I'm not sure how safe this is because is it really a good idea for regular consumers to be playing around with electricity? And do remember, the way you open the iPhone remains unchanged, so of course, you have to keep track of screws and other smaller parts as you try to do a battery replacement. I guess Apple does offer the manuals and tools needed with their self-service program nowadays, but I still think the EU's not going to be happy with this, so we shall see what they think of this. Apple's also going to better support third-party batteries later this year because right now using a third-party battery prevents you from seeing the health and cycle counts, but now those should be available, albeit with a disclaimer that Apple cannot verify the information and it's more of a guesstimate, which is fair because at the end of the day it's not a first-party battery. Now, because Apple is using this new electrical adhesive thingamajig, there will be now a stainless steel casing around the battery, similar to how things are on the Apple Watch. Now, not only is it going to make the battery easier to remove allegedly, but also Minchiko believes this plays a role in the high capacity because it does allow the battery to be denser. But it's not all fantastic news regarding battery life for iPhone 16 because whilst the regular model is also getting a decent battery capacity upgrade, the 16 Plus apparently is getting a smaller battery than the 15 Plus. Yes, you heard me right. I said smaller. Allegedly, it's going to be 4,006 milliamp hours, which is 9% smaller than the 15 Plus's battery, which is very odd, but I can foresee a reason why Apple might do this, and that reason is money. You see, this year lots of battery test reports and even Apple in their marketings made it clear the 15 Plus offers the best endurance in the range, and so there is a possibility many consumers go for the Plus over the Pro Max just for that. And of course that does not make Timothy very happy because the Pro Max has the juicier profit margins and he wants to make more profit. And so basically what I'm suggesting is that they're making the Plus worse on purpose just to get you to buy the Pro Max. It's the same reason why I'm pretty sure the 15-inch MacBook Air did not get substantial increase battery-wise, because if it offered all the battery benefits of the 16-inch, a lot of consumers would just save their cash and go with the Air instead. And that's not what Apple wants. They want you to get the 16-inch MacBook Pro even though you might not need that much power. And at the end of the day, Apple's lineup is like this perfect ladder, and they want to slowly push you up and get you to buy the highest end products even if you don't need it. So butchering the 16 Plus's battery life on purpose to get you to buy the 16 Pro Max is totally possible, guys. Then again, you could argue the 15 Pro Max is doing pretty well sales-wise regardless. In fact, it's currently the best-selling iPhone, and the Plus isn't even in Apple's top 10 list. So it seems people will still go for the shiny titanium iPhone to flex on their friends, even if it has the worst endurance. But putting that aside, it just makes plain sense for the more expensive iPhone to have the better endurance, so there's a solid 90% chance Apple screws over the Plus this year. Now the 16 Plus should still be respectable endurance-wise because it does have a 60Hz panel once again, which all the techies are going to be triggered about this year as well. But yeah, basically Apple wants to have this balance where the endurance is good enough to justify getting it over the regular 16, but it's not so good you no longer want to buy the Pro Max. Heck, I'll be honest, at one point I was actually considering the regular phones, and I would totally get the Plus for the amazing battery life. But of course, Apple does not want me thinking like that. This will be the last Plus model anyways. Much like the Mini, it seems like this idea of an additional regular model isn't really working for them. And so they plan to replace it with a new upmarket iPhone 17 Air, which could focus completely on a brand new and thinner design. So yeah, let's see how that pans out next year. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments, make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this, and thank you for watching. All of a sudden, it's raining iPhone SE4 leaks, and Mark Gurman gives us more details regarding this possible spicy device. So let's delve in. Now, in usual Gurman fashion, a lot of this is a recap of what we already know about this iPhone, but a man of his stature confirming these things is good news at the end of the day. So for one, he says this will be similar to the iPhone 14, which isn't really a surprise. That was one of the first leaks regarding the iPhone SE4, but hey, as I said,